All right, on Indie Magazine. Here we are with another version of JoneZy's Rock Reports. Last week I did the blues reports for y'all, and this week it's our raps report. We're going to do something totally different. I'm here with Joe CrimZn, right? CrimZn Cipriano. And we're going to talk to him about what it's like to be an indie rapper in this Northeast Pennsylvania scene, and get some information on his history and the basics, you know. So saddle up and enjoy the show. So Joe, like right off the bat, let me ask you, you know, like what did you listen to? What got you to where you're at now?
I came up to punk rock and hardcore, like Hatebreed, Strength for Reason, Wisdom and Chains, Sick of It All, shit like that, Black Flag, Suicidal Tendencies.
Right.
And then like I was like 14 or something like that. I picked up the Wu-Tang 36 Chamber CD, and I just really got into that shit.
Yeah.
And I always wrote poetry growing up. So merging writing poetry into writing it over hip-hop beats was just like natural.
Mm-hmm.
So I came up to hardcore, merged into hip-hop, and I like both now, you know what I mean? I'm into both styles.
Right. And you were in a couple hardcore bands, right?
Yeah.
And was that in Philly or was that here in...
That was here.
That was here?
I was in bands other places too, but the bands I was in here was X-Scrap X was the first one. We were like a straight edge hardcore band.
All right.
Then merged into Subsist, which turned into In the Eyes Of. And I lived in New Jersey. I was in this band called Tears for the King. And then In the Eyes Of got back together. It was like a long history of on and off again type shit with bands.
Right.
And the thing I like about being a solo artist is you don't have to worry about people not going to shows or not being at practice. You just do everything on your own.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Now, okay, speaking of that, now what's your I don't know how to say it, like your style then for writing any of your songs? Do you come up with the beats yourself, or are you downloading beats, buying off other people?
I got some people that make beats for me. I like to shout out to Odin Smith in Philly. He makes beats for me, and some other people. DJ Ransom is a local dude here who gets beats for me sometimes. But usually I write stuff, and then I'll put it to the beat, unless somebody gives me a really good beat, and then I'll write to the beat. So I do both ways.
Right.
It all depends.
And then you just record it yourself, like, or are you going to a studio? How are you doing your whole?
Sometimes I do it myself, and sometimes if I got the extra money, I'll go to a more professional studio and just record it at their studio. So
who have you gone to around here?
I used to go to Gary Bevanese in North Scranton, but he moved to Baltimore, I think it was.
Okay.
This dude Juke Drastic in Southside, he recorded a couple songs for me. Drama Prophet, he recorded some stuff for me. Il Mulata, he recorded some stuff for me. So usually friends help me out and shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Since I've become aware of you, I've been doing some research and stuff, and I did know you were nominated for the Rapper of the Year award. You've got a lot of good product out there. Your MP3s are, you know, really professionally good sounding stuff. Your videos are pretty decent. How much time and, you know, would the word be seriousness, do you put into this?
Like 100% of my time I put into this. I don't work. I just fucking make music, man. I put everything I got into it, all my heart, my soul, blood, sweat, and tears. Every time I write a song, I put everything in it.
Right. Now, you've got, I think, 3 like high quality videos that aren't just shot in at a performance venue. Now, for those videos, are they your concepts or?
Yeah, my concepts, other people's directing.
Right.
But yeah, most of my concepts.
So you really take full control of your career path, and you know
Oh yeah,
the whole...
definitely, 100%.
All right. I got to say, like, I really like the one that's shot in my parents' cemetery.
Yeah.
When I was watching that, I was like, oh wow, this is at the Washburn.
Yep, Washburn Street. That's where I grew up at in West Side.
Same here. Yeah.
Snyder Ave all the way.
Your other video, would you say you shot that in a one of the
band room?
Band rooms.
Yeah, it's a well-known band practice room in this area, the Green Ridge Street Rooms.
Right.
Slapjob records in there, a couple other bands.
Okay.
And that's actually one of my favorite videos I got so far.
Now the MMA gym, where was that? That one.
That's at the Irish Boxing Club.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
I could not figure out where that was. I was trying to figure that out.
That's at the Irish Boxing Club over in North Scranton.
Right.
And I know Gene Reed and a couple other people that work there and shit. And I boxed for a while, so I thought it'd be a good idea just to do it in there.
You've got some previous releases. Do you want to talk about them? What are
Yeah, sure. Well, as far as hip hop goes, the first serious release I put out was called Collaborations. It's like a wordplay with collaborations, but kill in front of it. It's all collaborations. Every song is a collaboration with different artists. That's on iTunes, CD Baby, any of the sites you can download music on. And I recorded that over probably 5 years maybe.
Right.
And it's just a bunch of shit I put together and then decided to make it into a mixtape. So that's when I released that one. After that, I started working on Scrantology Floetics. I figured I'm from Scranton, I want to incorporate that into the title. So Scranton, psychology, flow, poetics, Scrantology Floetics.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Very cool. What do you got coming? Are you working on something
That's
currently?
the one I just put out like 2
You just
days
put
ago.
that- oh, okay.
I just uploaded it to CD Baby 2 days ago. You should be able to get that on cdbaby.com. Just look up CrimZn, CrimZn, Scrantology Floetics. I'm sure you can figure out how to spell it. And that is going to be for sale downloadable. You know what I mean? Digital sales.
Right. So you use CD Baby and Reverb, from what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, Reverb's my main thing I fuck with. And like the Facebook music page too, but that's connected to Reverb, so
yeah,
it's
right.
like the same thing, you know what I mean?
So that's cool. And you don't have a manager. You're doing everything independently right now.
Yeah, I do everything myself.
No label?
I went to school at Full Sail.
Right.
That's a music school in Florida. And I went for entertainment business. They ended up fucking kicking me out because of some bullshit, but I pretty much have a bachelor's degree. I have like one class shy of it, but they fucked me over with financial aid. But I just do all my shit myself because I learned how to do it, so there's no point in paying somebody to do shit I know how to do myself.
Right. Well, I mean, part of our entire creed, with Ion Indie is how all the bands are doing it themselves these days, and that's who we're trying
DIY,
to feature.
Do it yourself.
Yeah.
That's 100% way to go.
Right.
Because record labels, they just fucking take all your money anyways, give you pennies on the dollar, so.
Yep. One of the things I noticed when I was getting familiar with your stuff is every genre of music has a certain amount of stereotype, and it's hard for like metal bands to avoid certain things. It's hard for rappers, I'm sure, to avoid certain things, but you're doing a pretty decent job of it. You're not really promoting the violence. I didn't catch any misogynistic lyrics in any of your the songs that I listened to anyway. And do you want to speak on that? Like, how do you avoid
I try
that?
to stay on the poetry side of things and just like staying away from stereotypes. I like to be an anti-mainstream artist.
Right.
Like, I'll actually go out of my way not to do anything mainstream, just because it's regurgitated.
Right.
Everybody does the same shit. It's the same model. I know it works. That's what sells records, but I'm not in it to sell records. It would be nice to make money, but I'm in it for the actual art of making music and putting lyrics to beats, man. It's just like, I don't really care about saying I'm a drug dealer or a thug, because I'm not. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I just stick to what's real, and I just keep it 100% true.
Now that comment that you're real, I hear that in the rap community a lot. And being that I'm older, I've seen like the emergence of white rappers where there was very few to where now it's pretty normal.
Right.
I wouldn't say it's 50-50 yet, but there's a lot of these.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot. Yeah, it's like every other white guy you meet's a rapper nowadays.
Right. Well,
so
does that realness, is that what helps in your pop, any kind of popularity you get? Because they know you're not fronting or whatever you would want to call it. Like you like you said, you're not representing yourself in a fake way, so they know that like that's sensed.
I think so, man. I can't read people's minds and shit, obviously, but like I get a lot of respect from everybody that hears my music and that I meet in person at shows. So, and I don't try to come off as I'm realer than anybody. You're only as real as you can be. You know what I mean? And real is just what the state of reality is. So it's like.
But you avoid putting anything that's bullshit into your lyrics.
Yeah.
So,
you know what I mean?
like that comes off.
Like, I'm not on the corner selling drugs. I'm not pushing fat whips.
Right.
And, like, I'm not balling and shit, you know what I mean? As the stereotypes would describe them.
Yeah.
I'm just an underground, starving artist, writing lyrics over hip-hop beats.
Right.
It actually goes back to, like, my grandfather. He was in a jazz band. And jazz was an early influence, too, for me. And hip-hop musical structure has a lot of jazz in it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of the same for me. Like, it's like a jazz style for me.
Right. In your live shows, for anybody who's watching this today that's like me that didn't know what some of this lingo means, but you have your girlfriend as your hype girl.
Yeah, my girlfriend is my hype girl. I never had a hype man coming up playing shows. I did shows with a couple people. Like I was down with this crew in Alabama when I lived there called the OMOB, Open-Minded Circle of Beings. And they weren't my hype guys. We actually just were all in a group together. And I never had a hype man, but like the hype man is kind of like if you ever heard of Public Enemy, Flavor Flav is Public Enemy's hype man.
Right.
So a couple
A lot of
people told
ska
me
bands have them too, correct?
they do,
Like
yeah.
that-
The dancers for
yeah,
ska, yeah. So a lot of people told me that I might be benefited if I had a hype man to hype the crowd up, because I'm more about just delivering the lyrics and getting the song performed, and that was it.
Right.
So I was thinking about getting a hype man, but then my girlfriend listened to my songs. I heard her going along with the lyrics and shit. I thought that'd be something different to do. So it's not a gimmick or anything, because like we have a really good chemistry connection. You
Right.
know what I mean? So it works good, and she sings pretty good too. So she sings on some hooks for me and shit. So and she doesn't go by any name right now. She just does it with me. Her name's Talia. You know what I mean?
That's a
So-
pretty good name.
Yeah. So it's just like that, man.
I know when we were doing the awards, and just from being a music fan for so long, rap's taken a lot of heat. I mean, as much heat as metal's taken, rap's taken even more. There's
Yeah.
always the misconception that rappers aren't real musicians. What do you feel, about that? Like,
The way rappers articulate their speech and their words, their sentence patterns, everything like that, their mouths are the instruments.
exactly,
You know
right?
what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like the way you cut a sentence up and then put it to the beat is each vowel, each consonant, everything like that. It's a separate musical note.
Mhm.
So rappers who actually take it to the extent where their mouth is their instrument,
Right.
they're delivering notes right there. And it's like a freestyling kind of way to do it. It's kind of like jazz. They just step on stage and then put everything together. That's what rappers do with their mouths. You know what I
Right.
mean? So I would say, and plus I play instruments anyways too, though. So if somebody said that, I'd be like, well, I do play instruments, so I am a musician.
Right.
But I consider my mouth an instrument too, though. So, you know what I mean?
Well, I know your tempos are sick. I mean, there was some things I had to listen to repetitively just because it was so fast.
Right.
But then you could change the tempo like that and go to like something much slower.
Slow
The
like
fast
that,
stuff
yeah.
blew my mind. I was like, how is he doing that? And then I'm seeing it in the video that it's real. It's not like you sped up a track or
Right.
anything like that. It's very impressive. And then once you heard it like twice, you could actually pick it out. So the enunciation is there. So it's not just
Yeah, and I try to put my lyrics on my page too, so people can like follow along
Right.
and see what it is. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Now, what do you do when you put a tour together, whatever you want to call it? Like, are you just trying to constantly work every weekend, or do you have stuff set up for like a month or two in advance?
Right now, I have stuff set up for a couple months in advance, but I haven't really toured with my solo hip hop shit. But like when I was in bands, I toured, and I was the one who booked all our shows, and I booked the tours and shit. So it was a lot of getting in contact with venues and just seeing where they're at, how they feel about shit. But like right now, I'm just staying local because I'm trying to work on some other shit, some personal shit. But I would definitely love to tour again as CrimZn doing my hip hop. You know what I mean? But it's the same as a band when they're touring, man. You know what I mean? You got to try to find. I mean, you'd be staying on people's couches.
Yep.
Whatever, hotels, sleeping on people's floors, eating
Right.
free food, getting paid shitty.
People don't realize that touring isn't what it used to be, where
No.
the label provides you with these huge
It's not
buses
glamorous.
and
Yeah, even
right.
major record labels downgraded to like
Right.
RVs and shit.
Mhm.
They went from huge buses and planes and shit to really fucking shitty beat down RVs or trucks. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
the glamour's totally not there anymore.
Yeah.
So a lot of people still don't realize that, and I think that's why we go out of our way to promote all you independents that are busting your ass so hard, doing it from a grassroots level, and still getting notoriety of some of the bigger, on the level of some of the bigger, acts.
Right. Yeah.
Because you're doing it all yourselves. You've got none of the bullshit support that these acts are going to have to pay back to these labels eventually, whether
Right.
they realize it or not.
Oh yeah, they're gonna. Yeah. So like this record label from West Philly, they wanted me to sign this contract where the stipulations in the contract was that I'd have to show up for every show, make every recording session, and if they wanted, convert any song I already recorded to the style and the way they wanted it recorded, which means taking like an underground hardcore style song and making like a pop song out of it.
That
kind of shit. And if I don't, then I'm liable for everything they put into me, and I have to pay them everything back.
Right.
So I was like, fuck that. It's no fucking way.
Yeah,
fuck the dumb shit.
Not the way it was ever supposed to be, but
it's what it turned into.
Yeah, and because so many artists allowed it, you know.
Yep.
A lot of artists go into things with just the dollar signs in their eyes, and they don't have the smarts to have lawyers check it over, you know. So that's cool that you knew enough shit to read it over real well and see all that, you know, and not just be blinded by the promises, you know. All right, so how about we talk about like one particular song anyway, because the one I like, the very first one I saw the video for was "Get My Gun," and I'm gonna tell you, like, it took till the second listen for me to realize it was an analogy, you know. So at first I was kind of like, I don't want to do this guy. He's just promoting the same old bullshit, you know, violence and everything. And then we're gonna have this video underneath this video, so you'll be able to see this. But he's really talking about his lyrical presentation and his vocals and his lyrics as your weapon of choice.
Yeah, my mouth's the gun.
I loved it. I thought it was great.
Cock back my tongue, releasing speech is my bullets. You know what I mean? That whole shit.
Yeah.
So I'll Get My Gun is definitely not about going to get a real gun. I mean, I believe in gun rights and all that shit, but I'm not a gun nut. You know what I mean? But it's not about guns. It's just about my lyrical abilities, exactly. So I'm glad you picked up on that. A lot of people don't even pick up on that.
Well, the part that made me kick myself in the ass, you actually talk about people like me who are thinking that's what you mean, right? And I was like, damn, I'm that fucking asshole right now.
Well, I can see how people think it when they just hear the title of the song or something.
Yeah. I'm glad I gave it another shot, because like I was picking up on it, you know, and I was like, wait a second, you know, let's go back, let's hear it again. And I was like, all right, and that was a selling point for me. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm definitely gonna interview this guy, because that was pretty cool. I thought, you know, there was like a brilliance level there. You know, I liked it. I thought it was a great analogy. So, and then I picked up on No Hands Out, or No Handout. I'm sorry.
Right.
You had you have a tattoo, and you mentioned about third eye. Right. Now you into all that stuff? Like, I mean, I got into it through Tool.
I am, but not in the way that a lot of people who just see it right off the bat will think I am.
Right. You're not like a metaphysical guru or any of that?
No, I'm not that, but it's just like, it's an enlightenment type of thing. It's the third eye, the eye of God watching on everything. That's what it really means. You know what I mean? A lot of people twisted it and make it sound like, oh, you're a Satan worshiper. Like, I wasn't even thinking of that. Facility with the guy who was telling me, oh, you're a Satan worshiper because you got that on your neck. I was like, get the fuck out of here, man. You don't even know what that means. So it was like, it's not anything to do with that. It's the opposite. Actually,
exactly.
You know what I mean?
All right. I think we pretty much got everything, and I want everybody to stay tuned. We're gonna do a performance video. We're gonna come back, and what song are you gonna do?
I'm gonna do The Storm.
The Storm.
Yeah.
All right. So that's it. Thanks a lot, CrimZn. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. We'll be back.
Death is easy, life is hard. Come around in the car, but the shots at the don't leave us cause y'all ain't hard. A picture's worth 1,000 words. A body in the trunk, so get that purse. Never gonna spit that final verse. I'm gigawatts, I'm megahertz. Never gonna catch me, I'm in first place. Jakes on my ass, always been that. Wait up all night, I sleep through the day. Banging tracks, getting bang, getting blaze. Try to stay clean, but like dirt like a snake. Right best on my arm, don't get struck in the face. Leave you like the game, getting bloody in the maze. Now I'm staring out the window at the skies, reminiscing about my life. Addicted to the devil and demonic sacrifice. That's how I wound up in his vice. I ain't never selling out, I ain't even got a price. Never see the sun, I live in the dark nights. Melt in your face like a torch to ice. Father Cipriano giving you last rites.
There's no room left in my heart for pain.
I call on the storm, dog, clouds, heavy rain. I watch it with the blood, sweat, and tears in my brain.
Drugged up by myself again.
Insane in the brain, delivering major pain. Cocked back with the craze and the rap of fame.
There's no room left in my heart for pain.
I call on the storm, dog, clouds, heavy rain. I watch it with the blood, sweat, and tears in my brain.
Drugged up by myself again.
Insane in the brain, delivering major pain. Cocked back with the craze and the rap of fame. like so beautiful, that's a mystery. So let my soul fly and they make history. Tragically, apparently, you better listen, G. If you dissing me, I'ma have to bury thee. Lyrical epiphany, spitting pharmaceutically, doping you artistically, you're dosing your Benzedrine. Murder spree, I'm killing beats, smoking butts like nicotine. Rockstar junkie, I'm a hip-hop fiend. Suburban dream with a heavy metal scream. I'm up in smoke till I can't breathe. Stereo assault, that's how I speak. See by green, watch your flesh turn green. Tattooed neck with the image of Mayans. Turned up like you're allergic to silence. Violence and violence, Christianless sirens. High sense 50 for funky guidance. The whole squad's lions, scrapping with tyrants. Chemically flowing through your blood like science. Born in defiance. Escape from hell, I was confined in. I cause immaculate blindness. Run the streets till dust my mind is. Redesigned and entwined with kindness. Guarantee everybody rewinds this. Tracks on fire creates the blind bliss. Cutting lyrical lines thick till the content true.
Up in my heart, pain.
I call the stone dog, clouds and heavy rain. Don't watch a bit of blood, sweat, and tears in my brain.
Drugged up by myself again.
Insane in the brain, delivering major pain. Caught back with the craze till the rapid fame.
There's no room up in my heart, pain.
I call the stone dog, clouds and heavy rain. Don't watch a bit of blood, sweat, and tears in my brain.
Drugged up by myself again.
Insane in the brain, delivering major pain. Caught back with the craze till the rapid fame.